Hello, hello. If you would like to stick around for a planner update and chit chat, then stay tuned. Hello, hello. So I figured I would come on here and do a little bit of an update and a planner chit chat, just kind of talking about what I'm doing with my system, where I'm going with it, how it's working, will I keep doing what I'm doing, and so on and so forth. So what I figured I would do is maybe kind of update some of my planner stuff a little bit while I'm chit-chatting with y'all. So first of all, this is my Hobonichi Weeks cover. This is in the Inno Blue from Vanderspec in Full Quill Ostrich, and I am basically, as you saw probably in one of my past videos, using this more for like a memory keeper type thing, as a daily, just to kind of help me remember specific events so that it would help me update my other journals a little bit better. So the only thing that I am gonna update, and actually move these aside, the only thing that I'm gonna update on this on camera, because obviously my journaling part is very private, is essentially the blah blah, can't think the weather part that I'm putting in the monthly. So I did discuss this. So basically what I am doing is I am doing a high and low for each day, and then a sticker that is kind of indicative of the weather and what it is. And I don't know what I'll do when I run out of stickers. I may just print some more that my daughter has made that she had for her Etsy shop, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess. So it's been, the weather here has been kind of gloomy. I live in the South, and it has been either cloudy, like completely cloudy and rainy. And I don't know about y'all, but let me zoom this in a little bit. One of these days I'll like get the zoom correct right off the bat. I don't know about y'all, but I do struggle when it's not sunny outside, and when I feel like it's just like gloomy and gross. I really do, I get a little bit depressed. So today is a very sunny day, and I'm super excited about it. And so yes, I finally can literally look at so far. So today's actually the 14th. Y'all will see this video way past this date, but we've had 2 sunny days, like, you know, not partly cloudy, 2 so far in the whole month. So yeah, that does get a little depressing. So basically what I've been doing is I'm tracking the highs and lows to help me really figure out temperature changes for gardening. So what I'm doing is I'm just going into my weather app online, and I am just like for the week plotting out the highs and the lows that the weather app has. I know that it does change a little bit here and there, but I don't need exact numbers. I just kind of need a rough idea. And this will just help me kind of figure out when is the best time to really get started with certain things, because with a garden and farming, there's some things that you have to do during certain temperatures to kind of prepare for your planting time. And so it's really good for me to be able to look back on this and really just get a good idea of what were the temperatures and what will be best for some of those. So that is why this monthly is working out really nicely for me there. Hopefully I keep up with it, just because it will be beneficial for me down the road. And what I may do is, once planting comes about, which is generally in March, so I'll probably do the whole month of February in the highs and lows, and then in March I'll probably plot out some of the highs and lows, but I will also start plotting on here when we started doing certain plantings, so that I know exactly when we planted what and where and so on and so forth. So I just really want to get on top of it more this year. Last year, we literally were finishing the house and we kind of just like threw stuff in the ground, and there really was no rhyme or reason. It wasn't a normal year for us. So this year we really want to focus on working a lot more harder. We did get a pretty good size yield. You know, we had a lot of vegetables, and that's great. But for us, it still was a mediocre year, although some people would say for them it was great. So, but that's that. So this is working out nicely. I have a number of stickers in here to help me with that. And I've shown before, I did make this pouch myself. And yeah, so it just kind of sits in there nicely. So that is that, and I will put that one aside. Okay, now, oh, I did it right. So, okay, so the other thing that I've been doing, and I talked about this a little bit, is I'm using my personal wide, and I am actually, instead of archiving the inserts from the personal wide, I'm actually archiving them in my Wonderland. And that is just really helpful for me, because it's easy for me to just keep a bound book for the end of the year versus all these loose papers and needing to have something else to put it in or what have you. So putting it in here for now, archiving it in here so that I have it to refer to if I need to, works out great. But the one thing I haven't done most recently is I haven't updated my monthly stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. So I say I'm gonna do this stuff and I'm gonna have a chit chat. And y'all, I really struggle with trying to do two things at the same time. Let's see. What do I need? January. I was like, what month is it? It's January. Here we are. I don't know why I'm struggling with that so much. Okay, so I guess I have some of my stuff in here, and I wanted to say, in one of my jet pens hauls, and I don't remember if I've mentioned this or not, but I had given this pen, this Energel Clena. My first impression of this was not real great, and I just wanted to kind of update really quick. I have been using it a lot more frequently, and I have to say, the more I use it, the more I like it. So I really didn't like it at first, but that's definitely one of those things with pens. A lot of times you have to just use it, and then you really, as you use it, decide whether or not it's something that's for you or not. So I wanted to definitely pop that in there and say I have been enjoying it. It is Energel Clena, as you can see there. It's a 0.5, so it's sort of like a needlepoint tip. And I think that originally that was a bit of what I didn't like is the needlepoint tip, but I am enjoying it a little bit better now. So I will say that. Now, okay. So in having a bit of a planner chit chat, I was just, I just wanted to kind of touch base with y'all. Like, how are you doing? Like, how are things going for you? I know I'm gonna just like move this aside and do it this way. I know for me, it's been tough. Obviously, life for us with schooling is much different for those that their kids usually go to public school. Since I homeschool, my son has been home, obviously, the whole time. So that's not really something that's new for us. I think for me, some of the things I'm struggling with most are dealing with just kind of like going out and about. And obviously the mask thing is a huge issue for me. And I'm not getting in this wear it, don't wear it discussion. For me, I have asthma really bad and I'm still wearing the mask, but it just like drains the life out of me. And I feel so terrible by the time that I come home that honestly, I have been doing everything that I can to just minimize how often I'm going out because it's just literally that bad for me. So yeah, and my daughter, where she's working, she has to wear one full time and, she's been having symptoms of like, coming home really dizzy and lightheaded and, there's nothing else going on other than the fact that her body is just like not used to that. And I know that not everybody's struggling with that, but it's just blah. And I'll be really happy when this is all over with and we can go back to semi-normal life and we can see each other smile again and all of those things that I really took for granted. I didn't think about how much I actually missed seeing the expressions on people's faces and how much I actually read lips. That is another huge issue that I really didn't realize how much I read lips, which is quite a bit. So yeah, anyway, so basically, like I said, what I'm doing is just kind of making sure that I get both of my planners up to date here. And that's just, important. So, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing to kind of cope with the whole isolation thing? I mean, I think it's important to be able to talk about and to be open and honest about our struggles. And, if we are having depression, what are we doing about it? I have started exercising again, which I will tell you, my body is not happy about it. I mean, I am really super struggling with the fact that I have started exercising and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. There's a lot of you really young planner girls out there that exercise like crazy and I envy that. I really do. Not knocking it in any way, but I'm telling you, there is a point that your body is just like, nah, we're done. We don't want to do this anymore. No more exercise. This is crazy. So I started, it wasn't a lot. So I had a step and I started doing just like a YouTube free step class. I want to say Jennifer Ford maybe was her name, and she has like free step classes, and there's a lot of free step classes. But basically, my goal is to get myself exercising before I take the plunge and do anything like buy a spin bike or anything like that, which I have done tons and tons of research on. I want to force myself to use what I have and really try to commit and really do it and just see. So yesterday, and this is, it's pitiful, but here's the reality. We need to set realistic goals, right? And we need to be kind to ourselves when it comes to starting back up with some of these things. Like we can't expect, or I can't expect, to not exercise for months on end and then start and think I'm gonna get through an hour-long step class. I mean, that's insanely stupid because I wouldn't be able to walk the next day. So I did, does it tell me minutes on here? Let me see. 25 minutes. Technically I did 30 because I totally forgot to put my Apple Watch on for about the first 5 minutes of the class. So it was 30 because the class was 30 minutes. So anywho, I'm just saying all this, like this is just kind of how I'm coping with all of this, one small way anyway. But, kind of like physically, and I'm not going to write step class. It's not really a class, but whatever. We're going to say 30 minutes. And in the notes, I always write my total calories, which is 253. And obviously there's no like reps or anything like that. So yeah, so that's basically what I do. And then I thought this one had a date. I guess it doesn't. I'm just gonna write 113 there, I guess. So yeah, I find that it's important to find something, whether it's a hobby, whether it's exercise, reading your Bible journaling, reading a book, anything to just kind of pull our minds off of just chaos so that it doesn't sink us down, it doesn't drag us down to that point where you're just like depressed all the time about every little thing. I listened to a sermon this morning, and I did like this like massive house clean today, and I listened to a sermon that was really good. And the pastor was talking about the importance of pulling away from social media. And this is something that I've really struggled with, and something that I need to do better with, because it can consume you, and it really can affect your attitude and everything else. So I think it's pretty important to kind of make sure that we're limiting how much we're taking in on a daily basis, and look for other outlets, look for other things too, instead of just that. I'm not saying that social media is bad, or this or that or what have you. I'm not making those assumptions. I'm just saying it's good for us to diversify what we're doing in our lives daily, especially those of us that are kind of stuck at home a little bit more right now. So anyway, I don't know. I felt compelled to share that today, and so I did. So my other thing is, I'm like, well, no, I don't need to be on that. I need to be on this. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about briefly was setting realistic goals for yourself on a daily basis. So, and I thought, you know what? showing my own failure is a perfect example of why setting goals is important. And so I just thought that I would show my yesterday's situation and kind of talk about it a little bit. So, there's some obviously, food for thought out there. Some people like to time their whole entire day, and this particular insert is great for that. Other people use, I want to say like Franklin Covey has a timed insert on theirs, or you can literally just have hourly inserts. The only thing that I really find with that is, first of all, I get exhausted if I literally follow the schedule for something like that. Second of all, I get discouraged. I'm trying to find the right words here. I get discouraged on the days that I don't, as hard as I try, I struggle with meeting those goals for the day. And I really feel like that sets me up for failure on the days to come. So yesterday was a classic example. I didn't do timed because I know it doesn't work for me. So really what I use this particular part of my daily for is if I have any physical appointments, I put them in here. Otherwise, it's rare that you're going to see me doing timed planning because it just won't happen, and I'll be depressed about it. But this is a classic goal of, I sort of overplanned my day. So, I put everything down in my to-do list that I wanted to get done yesterday. And everything that is highlighted are the things that I did actually accomplish, which is still a fair amount of things considering I had like 4 loads of laundry. So, and the putting the plates in the cabinet thing was very time consuming because I had no idea that I had inherited that many plates from my grandmother, and they were all individually wrapped, and it took me forever to get them all apart. So, long story short, I think it's super important to make sure that when we're planning our day, that we're trying to be more mindful of being realistic with our goals for the day. So, and I clearly failed at this yesterday, like 100% failed. And I'm going to write this over here because this ended up like, I was like, no, I'm going to get that done. And I didn't get it done yesterday. So yeah. So basically, a lot of these things, and as you can see, nails, yeah, that didn't get done either. I'm going to attempt to do them today. I don't know if I will actually get them done, but I'll try. So just making sure, like when you're home and you don't have a lot of appointments and stuff, but you still have a list of things to do, whether it's homeschooling or distance learning with your child, or doing laundry, or making phone calls, or whatever. Try to be realistic about those things and really try to purpose to work on one until it's complete before moving on to the next. So, because this the thing is, for me, I had to get these clear boxes out of the trailer. Like literally all I needed to do was walk out to my storage trailer, pick these clear boxes out, which I knew exactly where they were, and bring them back in. That's it. That's all I had to do. But what happened? I actually had my son go get them. He brought them back, and then it was like, oh, well, I can't use those until I get rid of these boxes, and I can't get rid of these boxes until I go through these papers. And it just became this like long, like, okay, I can't get some of these other things done. And I just should have been more realistic about my plan for what I had to do with these clear boxes, which for me was, I'm sort of getting back into like tax mode for 2020 for last year, and having businesses, that's complicated. And so it does require a lot of organizing. And also, I needed to purge boxes from some time prior that I don't need to keep anymore. It snowballed and it became this long drawn out thing. And I really just should have been more realistic about, okay, once I get those boxes, maybe I'll say tomorrow I will, go through this stuff and purge and blah, blah, blah. Instead, I got the boxes, and then something that's not even on this list, I spent half the day doing. So it was like, okay, I really needed to just focus on my list, focus on like prioritize my list based on what I think is more important versus what isn't as important for me to wait and get done the next day. So this is a long version of me gabbing, saying try your best not to be a failure like this. And just try to be realistic about setting yourself up for the day, what you can get done. And, because what I find is if I make this long list and I'm like, I'm going to do this, da 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 da, and then I don't get it done, my motivation for the next day to work on my list for the next day is not good, because I'm thinking, I haven't gotten anything done all week. So what's the point? So I really, want to encourage you guys, just try your best to be realistic about your goals for the day. And even in general, not necessarily just for the day, but weekly goals, monthly goals, what have you. Be realistic about them so that you don't set yourself up for failure, because that, in my experience, is like, that's a big problem for me. This is something I struggle with. And it definitely depresses me, it demotivates me, and it makes things just a lot more difficult. So anywho, that was sort of a long-winded version of that. But yeah, so, I did, and I just used my Tombow markers. So I did get this done. I got that done. I got that done. And I got that done. So really not too bad today. I tried to be a little more realistic today with what, and I have also done, and y'all, do you do this too? Okay. So I also did 4 loads of laundry today. Yeah, for real. I did 4 yesterday and I did 4 today, but I think I've reached the bottom of the bucket. 8 loads of laundry in 2 days. That's insane. There's only 5 of us, but 3 of my boys work jobs outside, and they get disgusting and they have to change their clothes frequently. And unfortunately, yeah, I am washing clothes a lot. So 4 loads of laundry, yay me. And yeah, so this is what I do. I write it down and then I cross it off. Do y'all do that? Because it makes me feel better when there's something additional that I did that wasn't on my list, and I can say, okay, I did that. That was something else that I did. So yeah, I don't know. I find it gratifying to be able to do that for sure. So all that being said, I really just, wanted to have a bit of a chatty video and talk to you guys about setting realistic goals. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. My planning system right now is pretty boring. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye!